Hello everyone, I am Jack Ellis, and today I wanted to do a special video because I realized that I haven't done a lot of videos lately. I've been hard at work at a couple short films, one of which is a Halloween fan film, and being that the new Halloween fan film, or the new Halloween movie, Halloween Kills, just released its trailer, and that's a movie that I've eagerly been waiting. Whew, I'm out of breath for some reason. A movie I've been eagerly waiting for the last 3 years. I thought, hey, why not do a video centered around Halloween since I was in the spirit, so to speak. And this is a series that I've wanted to start for a very long time. Where the reason I started this sort of movie talk show sort of thing is because me and my dad love to talk about pop culture. And one of our favorite things to do is take a series that we know a lot about and read fan theories on the internet and see if any of them hold water, so to speak. And today, what better way to kick off that series than with Halloween. I came up with around 15 or so fan theories that I found on the internet, either which way, and I decided how I would, my general opinion on this, how I would rate this on a scale of, actual plausibility. And yeah, I've wanted to do the series for a while, so let's get into it. The first one, I think this is honestly a joke. Michael Myers is Chucky. No, because the thing about Chucky is the first Chucky came out in like 1988, Child's Play, and the first murder happened in 1963. That's like a 25-year gap. So let's just assume, let's say Brad Dourif was, being liberal, 40 years old during the time, and that's being very liberal, during the time of shooting for Child's Play. That means that his character would have had to have been 15 when he first got into voodoo and made Michael kill his sister in 1963. That's a little far-fetched for my taste. I think Michael Myers is not controlled by anybody, and that's what Halloween 5 and Halloween 6 could not understand, and that's what I really don't like about those movies. Michael Myers is not controlled by anyone for anything. Number 2, Michael Myers is triggered by sex. The thing about this one is, in the academic sense, yes, but it's just like, I don't think Michael Myers is triggered by any one thing, except his own internal desires to kill. I mean, yeah, he may kill people who are having sex more often than not, but that's because people in those circumstances are more vulnerable. And this sort of train of thought that Michael has some sort of like sexual impulse having to do with his murders has plagued interpretations of the first movie, and I personally don't like it. I mean, Dead Meat talked about it, Dr. Wolfia talked about it, saying that, Halloween was the start of slashers and the only person to survive was the virgin, and these movies only seek to oppress women, when really it's the opposite. Slasher movies were really popular in the 80s, and that's when every male hero was this muscle-bound person taking down 80 bad guys. And slasher movies were some of the only movies that had strong female characters being able to go up against people that men were not able to take down. And it all flowed very naturally. And John Carpenter even talked about this theory, saying that it's not about whether or not she had sex, it's actually about her priorities. That she was on the ball while the other ones were out partying and doing all that, and that's why they got killed. So I don't really believe this theory, no matter how popular it is. It doesn't hold much water to me because it's very niche. It puts Michael in a box too much, giving him an MO that he really shouldn't need. Number 2, Michael Myers exists solely to spread fear. When he murdered his sister in the small town of Haddonfield in 1963, he was spreading fear to the town of Haddonfield, and then people started to forget about him. By 1978, and Laurie, no problem, was able to walk up to the doorstep of the Myers house, no fear at all. So he had to come back, and he had to put fear back into the lives of the people of Haddonfield. This is a very like a quasi Freddy Krueger, where Michael Myers is only brought to life by the fear of him. I mean, it's very hard for me to disagree with this one, but I feel like that's not Michael Myers' sole purpose, but an indirect byproduct of what he does. Michael Myers is scary because, as opposed to most horror movies, the fear comes to you in your small town, and there's no way of escaping it. It's just there, and you cannot do a single thing about it, and that's what makes the idea of Michael Myers scary. When you say things like, he only exists to spread fear, yeah, because the people of Haddonfield in 1963, it was a much different time. People had never heard of a 6-year-old murdering somebody. It was terrifying. It opened them to a world that was darker and scarier than their white picket fences, so to speak. And the idea that that's his sole purpose, again, is just, it's too limiting to Michael Myers. And the whole thing about he exists only to spread fear rather than kill, there's a certain thing about Michael, he's sort of ethereal, like a ghost, like he is not of this world. And that's sort of what gives him his mystique. What makes him sort of scary is he's about as non-human as one human person can get. And so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rate that high or low. It's not his sole purpose, but it's something that happens because of him achieving his purpose, if that makes any sense. Michael Myers is evil itself. Michael Myers is the living embodiment of evil, and that's why you cannot kill him, because he is the living interpretation of a concept. He is the evil that plagues our world, and he is embodied in that, and that's why he cannot be killed, he cannot be destroyed. Yes and no. Yes, because the way Loomis talks about him and the way Laurie talks about him, it makes you really think that he is this evil person. Maybe not even a person, but it's all about figuratives and building up Michael as this evil person. He is not evil itself. He is not a living embodiment of anything. At the end of the day, he is a person, but he has so much evil inside of him that it almost seems as if he is the living embodiment of evil. That all he does is just kill, and that's all he lives to do, and that's all he will ever do until the day he dies, if he dies. And so, to say that he is just walking around as the living embodiment of a concept, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a person, and when people talk about this theory, I mean, what fictional character would be the living embodiment of love? The living embodiment of disgust? The living embodiment of perseverance? I mean, people feel emotions, but how can they be the living concept of, no, the living embodiment of a concept? How can one person be the living embodiment of a concept? Would they always have to be, excreting that sort of concept into their everyday lives until the day they die? Where are the barriers of this theory? Silver Shamrock made Michael's mask, and that's why he's evil. He only kills with the mask on, so it must be the mask that makes him evil. Because people can't just be evil on purpose. People try so hard to put Silver Shamrock in the Michael Myers continuity. Folks, it can't be done. And I'm sick of people trying to do it. Halloween 3 is whatever you want it to be, honestly. It's a very strange movie, and I love every minute of it, but I will never go so far as to say it's in the Michael Myers continuity, on the simple basis of more than once they watch the movie Halloween in Halloween 3, and you can make the case that it's the Halloween universe's equivalent to, I don't know, My Friend Dahmer, or something like that, or what was that Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron? Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, whatever. But let's put Occam's razor into effect. The concept that all things being equal, the simplest answer is always the best. So let's say that within 4 years of one of the worst crimes that the country has ever seen, Hollywood cashed in on it and made the exact same movie, shot for shot, as a movie that already exists, and made it shot for shot as it happened, with the same name of a movie that doesn't exist because it is in the movie universe, or it's just an in-joke. And people have gone so far as to say Michael Myers is one of the androids in Halloween 3. The human-like androids. It's going back to Michael Myers' ethereal concept that he does not act human. He does not act of this world. That's just... And I think people, take the whole he's not human, he's evil thing too literally, too seriously. In Halloween 2018, Laurie made the bus crash. If they hadn't explained why the bus crashed in the first place, I probably would believe this, and I probably still do believe this. She was drinking that night, and she probably made the bus swerve off the road. She was probably following it. She accidentally made it crash. She didn't even notice. I don't doubt it. That dumb Sartain twist kind of explained that he made the bus crash to see the animal in the wild. But I still actually sort of subscribe to the Laurie made the bus crash theory, because it's a lot better than that. And it's sort of playing into a concept, the Sartain twist, that we will talk about later. Michael Myers is in the same universe as such horror icons as Freddy, Jason, Ash from the Evil Dead, and Chucky. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the theory. I don't need to explain it to you. That Freddy, Jason, and Evil Dead are all in the same universe. Being that Freddy and Jason are definitively in the same universe. And in Evil Dead, you can see a Freddy glove. So that means that they're all interconnected. And those three movies connect to Chucky. And Chucky shows Michael Myers. And when you do those sort of connections, I don't mind them all that much. But then, if you keep taking what are probably Easter eggs or in-jokes as actual canonical exclaims, then you just get this sort of twisted web where you get a universe where these awful things happen in very similar ways and nobody talks about them. And, you know, Springwood is in Ohio and Haddonfield is in Illinois, and Chucky takes place in Chicago. They're all in the Midwest. Do you think any one of these murder wires would have crossed at any given time over the course of 30 to 40 years? I would, but that's just me. But I think they're just in jokes, being fair. Michael Myers is linked to the holiday of Samhain, where people would sacrifice people and they try to scare the spirit away with masks. I think it's just a horror movie that takes place on Halloween, giving into the mythology of the holiday. I mean, you know, people wear masks at Halloween, so it's harder to find a serial killer if they're wearing a mask. And people get killed in slasher movies. That's just the way of the world. So having those things be factors of Michael being connected to this like thousands of year old Celtic holiday universe, it'd be like saying, you know, a Christmas horror movie has a killer dressed as Santa Claus. That must mean he's psychologically connected to the Festival of Yule. No. It just means that it knows about the holiday of Christmas. So no, I don't believe that one for a second, honestly, because Michael Myers might have some psychological connection to Halloween, because that's when he killed his sister, but it's not some grand thing. He just wants to get out for Halloween, because that's when he first did his deed. Michael is a tethered from the movie Us. I honestly think this is a joke, because Halloween was released 41 years before Us. So, if anything, the tethered were based on Michael Myers and his mannerisms. So you can't retroactively make Halloween about Us. You would have to make Us about Halloween. It's something to think about, I suppose, but it's just... It's just not anything. It's probably just some sort of joke. Michael Myers passed the torch in HR, or Halloween Resurrection. In Halloween Resurrection, after he kills Laurie, he gives the knife to a man obsessed with psychopaths in a clown mask. And this is supposed to be a symbolic passing of the torch. If this was a passing of the torch, why did it happen at the beginning of the movie? Why? Tell me, please, local theorists. Why, if it's a passing of the torch, did it happen at the beginning of the movie? Halloween Resurrection had no idea what it was doing, no idea what franchise it was in. It was just off in the corner doing its own thing and messing up and doing this, that, and the other. And, so what happens in that movie should not be taken as gospel for the Halloween franchise. And so, no, I don't think that's a passing of the torch. I think it's Michael. If they find Laurie's body, we'll assume that that person did it and he gets away scot-free. Which is, again, something that he doesn't have to do. But, Halloween Resurrection doesn't really understand the character of Michael Myers, so, no. Dr. Loomis is the same character as Sam Loomis from Psycho. See, this is the only one I could believe, because I think John Carpenter, if somebody were to ask him about this, he would say something like, yeah, maybe in my heart I always knew that they were kind of the same character. Let me explain the storyline of this storyline. That after the events of Psycho and Sam Loomis, ridden with guilt that he could not save the life of his girlfriend, decides to devote his life to the treatment of psychopaths. And he goes to college, studies, and then the first patient he gets is little Michael Myers after killing his sister. And Michael Myers, after really getting to know the evil of who Michael is, he begins to give up all hope on the life in the world and finds out that this kid is just pure, unadulterated evil. So yeah, I actually think this theory is plausible, because I think it could be one that John Carpenter himself could confirm. It's not the case for a lot of these, though. Michael Myers is an alien parasite from The Thing. When I first heard this, I thought it could be plausible, because there's a lot of scenes in Halloween 1978, like the scene in the bedroom, or when he gets the phone and he puts it up to his ear and all that, where it seems like Michael actually could be some sort of alien parasite. But that was just a passing thought, because again, Michael's mannerisms are supposed to make him seem somewhat supernatural, like he's not of this world. He's human, but he doesn't look or act human. So yeah, I don't believe Michael Myers is some sort of alien. I think he just has some sort of supernatural power. All the movies from Halloween 2 to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I guess, anything between 1978 and 2018 are revenge fantasies in Michael Myers' head. This is a good moment for me to catch my breath and get my voice back. Okay, let's think about this. I want you all to hear this. Michael Myers doesn't need revenge fantasies. He doesn't have any fantasies. He spent 15 years in an insane asylum staring at a wall. He doesn't fantasize. I don't even think he thinks. Nonetheless, come up with these elaborate plots of this, that, and the other, where he could escape, he could get out and wreak havoc on Haddonfield. No, he's not having fantasies. If there's one person you don't give the whole it's all in their head treatment to, it's Michael Myers. You know it and I know it. Michael Myers is not a it's all in your head theory kind of character. He's just not. Okay, we're getting down to the last few. I honestly think this one is a joke. Conan the Barbarian is the only one who can stop Michael, because he defeated I haven't seen the movie, it's like the Angel of Samhain, whatever, Samhain. I think it's a joke, honestly. Michael Myers had his identity stolen. So after 1963, an obsessive person with the case of Michael Myers, broke out of the insane asylum and became Michael Myers, stole his identity, and that's who was chasing. That's who Dr. Loomis was chasing, not the actual Michael Myers, just someone obsessed with him. If it was not Michael Myers, if it was not the evil we associate with Michael Myers, if it was not the actual Michael Myers, why would Loomis be so scared? Why? Please tell me. Why? Okay. I don't get this theory. I don't, the police would be everywhere searching for this guy. Loomis would be on the prowl with a revolver just looking for Bob, the person obsessed with the Michael Myers case. No, it was the guy who killed his sister and broke out to kill some teenagers. Michael Myers is autistic. He is obsessed with killing his sister, obsessed with doing it on the date of Halloween. I don't even get, he doesn't talk. I don't get this theory's line of thinking, honestly. Where in the series do you get that Michael has autism as opposed to being literally insane and evil? And I don't know if I made this point about all the movies are connected theory, but if you're going to have all these movies be connected with the Halloween universe, the evidence better be in the Halloween universe, not in some other movie. But on to the task at hand. I actually know a lot of people who are autistic or have something along the lines of autism. And this theory, with its very rudimentary understanding of what autism actually is probably offensive is the best way that I can describe it. It's going to get a 0 out of 10 for me. I know I'm not rating these, but this one deserves it. And before we get to the last one, there's been one that's making the rounds lately. We watched a movie, talked about it, some other people did too, that Michael Myers was actually going after Annie the entire time, not Laurie, and the reason he was trying to kill Laurie was because she was in his crime scene and she needed to be silenced, so she wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, this is the kind of theory that I like. It's thinking outside the box. It shows a real knowledge of the series and of the first movie, and it gets people talking. It's something to chew on. It's not these vague, somehow niche sort of theories. It seems like an actual fan thought, hey, what if this? So yeah, I like the theory. I don't know how much I really believe about it, but I like it, and I like what it stands for. This next theory, however, is probably my least favorite, and I want to debunk this right now. Loomis is the bad guy. Let's look at this for a second. So Dr. Loomis, after Michael kills his sister, he doesn't look happy, he looks appalled. And Loomis spends the 15 years making him feel like a sociopath, feel like a bad person, feel like he's a monster, and that makes him actually believe he's a monster. So he breaks out and he kills more people, and Loomis was grooming him to be a psychopath. No. No to all of that. Here's why. Loomis is not the bad guy who accidentally made a psychopath and let him out. He is a man who is, instead of being reactive to danger, he is proactive. He gets his gun and he just wants to hunt down Michael and kill him before he hurts anybody else. Because he knows if Michael ever escaped, that this is a man that needs to be behind bars until the day he dies, or it will only cause destruction. This is a man who lives to end the lives of others. And Loomis is trying to stop that from happening. He is trying to stop Michael and his evil reign of terror. He's not some mad scientist out to make a psychopath. He's out to end a psychopath. He's out to end the terror that Haddonfield has to go through every single time. And every single time Michael has been on the loose, escaped, gotten out, this, that, or the other, he has been on the front lines trying to take Michael down. And to me, that doesn't really seem like he's the one that's trying to make Michael into this monster. He's not Dr. Frankenstein, okay? He's Van Helsing. He has tried every time Michael has been on the prowl to every single time. Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. Every single time he has tried to stop Michael. And to me, that doesn't sound like he wants Michael to kill. And so that theory is complete and utter bogus. Well, I hope you enjoyed this new series. We'll be having some videos coming out, some more short films, some more this, that, and the other. So yeah, I really appreciate your all's watching my YouTube, and I'll see y'all soon. Hi guys, so there's a couple things I forgot to add when I was talking about Halloween theories and such. One was that Michael Myers can actually talk, because in Halloween 4, a bunch of Michael Myers surround the place, and one of them says, like, you thought he was me, or something like that, you thought it was me. I think the actor just messed up the line or something like that. And, also, the whole Michael Myers was a cyborg theory, that only applies to, like, Halloween 4 on. So, and Michael actually died in Halloween 2. I still don't believe it all that much, because I just don't think the two movies are in the same continuity. And maybe there's one I forgot, let me look. And I looked, and I found one last one, that at the end of Halloween 2018, Allison is seen holding the knife, which means she will be the new Michael Myers. Sorry guys, that's not gonna work. It's just merely the fact that they did that in Halloween 4, didn't work then, it's probably not gonna work now. It just won't, honestly. So, yeah, that's about the end of it.